Hey guys, Frightener22 here, and welcome back. I know I've been gone for roughly 2 weeks because I had mentioned that I was going on a little bit of a vacation from YouTube after my successful and exhausting 31 Frightening Days of Halloween marathon that I had put on last month. But lo and behold, I'm back, and what better way to bring it back in with a new At the Movies segment. Now, last time I think that I did this was, I believe, it had to have been over a month ago, because I think the last movie that I actually saw in theaters was the really awesome Jennifer's Body. So I'm back, and I'm here to review Disney's A Christmas Carol. I just got back from it, and I was really, really looking forward to this. This is one of my, at least for me, one of my most anticipated releases of 2009. Now, I know many of you guys know that I'm a huge, huge Robert Zemeckis fan, so anytime a new Zemeckis film comes out, I'm normally there opening day, but in this case, the film originally debuted on November 6th, I believe, and I was actually away on vacation, nowhere near, not really close to a theater or a 3D theater at that, so I just waited until I returned from vacation to see it. So finally I got my chance to see Zemeckis' new film, and the verdict, it ruled. Zemeckis can rarely do wrong, in my opinion. Just really, really great. So let's take a stab and talk about this film a little bit. Now, obviously, this is a retelling of the classic Charles Dickens novel dealing with the grouchy Ebenezer Scrooge, who is a pretty cold-hearted man until three spirits, the ghosts of Christmas past, present, and future, enter his life to kind of show him, the past, present, and future of what his life was and how the world has kind of turned him, into something else, and, what his life is doomed to be if he doesn't, more or less clean up his act and, kind of let, the goodness and joy of, the Christmas spirit into his heart. So, that said, something that I think I just need to clear the air about is that I've never actually surprisingly seen any other, previous interpretations of A Christmas Carol. I know, surprisingly. I've never read the Dickens novel. I've never seen The Muppet Christmas Carol. I've never seen any of them. The one with George C. Scott. Never have. I always kind of meant to see them, but, in, just this grand scheme of just watching movies and keeping up to date on things, those just kind of fell through the cracks, and I'm just a huge lover of Christmas movies in general, so it just makes it all the more surprising that my first true exposure to, the Dickens story is 2009's A Christmas Carol. But this interpretation, I found it really, really fascinating. It was really, really solid. You have a really wonderful cast, headlined by Jim Carrey as Ebenezer Scrooge, and he actually plays a variety of characters throughout the film. Think Tom Hanks in The Polar Express, the same kind of deal how Tom Hanks was playing, I think, close to 8 roles in that film, and that's pretty much what Jim Carrey did in this. But I think that Jim Carrey played a really, really great Scrooge. I mean, he really grouchy, really, he really perfected this great accent in his voice, and obviously this is motion capture, so it is Jim Carrey's actions and mannerisms just being portrayed on screen in a motion capture animated interpretation. So, his mannerisms and everything I thought were really solid, and I think, Jim Carrey has always kind of had, this real physical ability about his acting style and his comedy, so he definitely, it's toned down here, but it's definitely broad. You definitely get Jim Carrey's style and flavor implemented in the Scrooge character, so it works really nicely. I think Carrey did a really, really, really great job, especially, I don't know about you guys, but for me, Jim Carrey's kind of, I love Jim Carrey. He's one of my favorite comedians, but over the past few years, he's really just kind of, hit a lot of sour films at the box office. I haven't seen Yes Man yet, but Fun with Dick and Jane was probably one of the biggest disappointments of 2005 for me. And just in the past few years, just things haven't, gone, as good as they could, I guess, for Jim Carrey. But A Christmas Carol is truly a really redeeming film for him. So, for his performance alone, he really captured really, really great Scrooge. Furthermore, the rest of the cast is really, really awesome. I mean, Zemeckis really knows how to garner a really great cast. In this film alone, you actually get, some Robert Zemeckis alumni in Robert Wright Penn, who he's worked with countless times in Forrest Gump and Beowulf, in addition to the great Bob Hoskins, who I believe he has only worked with Bob on 1988's Who Framed Roger Rabbit. So it was really, really surprising and, you know, really fun to see Bob Hoskins get another role finally in a Zemeckis film, and he's really great in it. In addition to that, you get the likes of Carrie Elways, who many of you guys would remember from 1987's The Princess Bride, as well as more recent fame with Saw. So he's great in it. You also have the likes of Colin Firth, who was fantastic, and of course the always great Gary Oldman, who played you know, really marvelous role. But I'll let all you guys, you know, view the film and just let them unfold as you can, just see if you can actually spot out who's who in the motion capture, you know, performances. But I have to say, across the board, everybody in the cast was just really, really stunning and really brought something really special to this great classic Christmas story. So it was really phenomenal. Now, moving on to the actual animation. Now, I know there's a lot of people that ever since the Polar Express had hit in 2004, everybody was like, oh, motion capture, that's creepy, those eyes, those facial gestures, it's weird, it doesn't look that great. You know, people say a lot of things about it. I have always been a supporter of motion capture, and that's, you know, people can argue that might be biased because I'm such a Zemeckis fan, but I really think that Zemeckis has always been, you know, not only a really fantastic director in knowing how to, you know, guide a story and direct actors, but he's always been pushing the envelope in technology, and that's one thing that you can't take away from Zemeckis. He's a really solid guy who's really artistic and can give you a really, you know, well-told, thorough, you know, intriguing story, but he also knows he's very technically tech-savvy, so he's always looking to push the envelope in technology, and you can see as early as 2004, The Polar Express, it was a brand new medium, so he was really perfecting it. But I loved The Polar Express. For me, at least, when I saw that, that became an instant Christmas classic for me. As, of course, moving on, in 2007, he used the motion capture process yet again in Beowulf, which was perfected. You know, 3 years down the line, you could see that the technology was, you know, furthering its potential, and it was looking better and better. So that was definitely a step up from what the Polar Express was. And now here we are in 2009 with A Christmas Carol, and I can tell you that for everybody that's ever been turned off by the whole motion capture process, you definitely want to rediscover your love and take a second look with A Christmas Carol, because this has been perfected to the T. The technology in this film is really, really wonderful and really stunning. You know, there's just so many moments in the film that you can swear that these are real actors in certain scenes, and that's the, you know, that's the coolest thing about it, is that this this animation has really been perfected and looked really, really wonderful. It's just really, really stunning and incredibly fantastic. And like I had mentioned, I actually went and saw this in 3D. I didn't see the 2D version. I went and saw the 3D version, and it's really great. The 3D works really, really wonderfully and really beautifully with how well and amazing this motion capture technology has really been brought since Zemeckis first dabbled with it back in 2004. So do not be turned off by it at all. To take another chance on it with A Christmas Carol, and I guarantee you guys will not be disappointed with it. Some interesting things to note is that this is actually the first film that Zemeckis has done with Walt Disney Pictures since Who Framed Roger Rabbit. I just always found that, you know, I found that to be really surprising, considering, you know, what a hit Who Framed Roger Rabbit was, and this is, you know, the first time that he's worked with them since then. Furthermore, this is actually Jim Carrey's first work with Walt Disney Pictures, which also struck me as pretty surprising, but, I mean, you know, lo and behold, those are the facts, but I just always found that kind of surprising that Disney and Jim Carrey never teamed up before. A Christmas Carol is actually the first movie that, the first animated Disney film that has been put up in IMAX 3D, so that's really exciting for you guys that enjoy seeing this type of medium as well as 3D films in IMAX. Here's your chance, because this is the first time Disney has done this with an animated film, so if that's, you know, your cup of tea, you don't want to miss it in IMAX. Now, all that said, guys, I think it's easy to see that I really enjoyed this film, so I definitely stress everybody to just get their asses up and go and check this film out in 3D if you guys have the capability. I know you guys won't be disappointed. It's a really great, fun holiday Christmas treat for all ages, so definitely check it out. As always, guys, thanks again for tuning into my channel. I really hope to be back with some fun and new exciting things, but I figured a new At the Movies segment was just long overdue, so I'm really happy to make my grand entrance back with one, especially reviewing something as special as Disney's A Christmas Carol. Thanks again for tuning in, guys, and if you like what you see, comment and subscribe. This is Frightener22. For sure.